Some believe that when a place sees enough death, it doesn't just carry a memory, it absorbs it. That death, that fear, that final scream, it stains everything. The dirt, the walls, the air. It lingers like smoke in a burned-out room. You can't see it, but you feel it settle on your skin, inside your lungs, like something that doesn't want to leave. The Winston Tunnel, deep in the remote bluffs of Joe Daviess County, is one of those places. Built in 1887, this now abandoned train tunnel lies hidden just 8 miles south of Galena, Illinois. To look at it from afar, it's just a decaying archway carved into the earth, swallowed by trees and time. But when you stand before its mouth, when you hear the breeze echo through that half-mile corridor of darkness, something primal in you pulls back. Something whispers, "Don't go in there." And maybe you shouldn't. From the moment construction began, the Winston Tunnel, originally called the Rice Tunnel, was a death trap. Carved through brittle shale stone, the ground would shift without warning. Collapses were frequent. Dynamite blasts took lives before the tunnel was even halfway done. Men died not just from accidents, but from the air itself. Before ventilation, it became a coffin of smoke and gas. Typhoid fever ran through the work camps like wildfire. Rattlesnakes were common. You didn't just risk your life by entering the tunnel, you risked it by being near it. The first man to die was John Hill, a Finnish immigrant, just 10 days into the job. The story goes that he was struck in the back of the head by a loaded dump car when the brakes failed. It crushed him into the rock, left him broken and bleeding in the dirt. He died shortly after. He never went home. His family never saw him again. But some say he never truly left. That was when the stories began. At first, it was the section workers. They said they heard voices in the tunnel, low and strange, like someone calling for help from far away. But when they searched, there was no one inside. Then came the shadows. Workers claimed they saw a man walking the tracks alone, deep inside the tunnel, only for him to vanish the moment they called out. And the most terrifying thing, everyone who saw him described the same figure, a man in worn work clothes, a cracked helmet, and a gash along the back of his skull. Then, there was the fan house operator. The fan house was a small building near the tunnel's mouth, used for ventilation. It was isolated. No roads, no nearby towns. Just woods, hills, and the tunnel. The operator worked alone at night, and he heard everything. Footsteps, whispers, sometimes screaming. Some nights, he said, the tunnel breathed. He could feel it exhale, like something alive and massive waiting underground. Some said the job of fan house operator was cursed. No one lasted long. Men left in the middle of the night, refusing to return. One reportedly walked for miles, just to escape the sound of someone knocking on the door from the inside. But John Hill wasn't the last to die there. Not even close. In 1887, during a dynamite blast near the entrance, a 22-year-old named Edward Hines was struck by a piece of flying shrapnel, directly in the back. He died in agony hours later. Then, just weeks afterward, a German immigrant was killed during another blast. He was crushed beneath a sudden rain of rock. His co-workers could still hear the last sound he made, the sharp intake of breath, cut short as the tunnel took him. In 1892, 2 freight trains collided at high speed inside the tunnel. Fire erupted instantly. 3 men died, including 2 firemen who rushed in to help. Their bodies were so badly burned, they had to be identified by personal items. And even then, not all were recovered. Then there were the silent deaths, the ones no one really talks about. Workers who passed out from toxic fumes. Hitchhikers and drifters who tried walking through and were struck by unseen trains. No warning. No escape. Just a whistle, a scream, and nothing. The final documented death was in 1963. A woman tried to walk through the tunnel alone. No one knows why. She never made it out. Even after the trains stopped running and the tracks were closed in 1972, the tunnel never lost its hunger. Local legends only grew. People talked about strange growling sounds echoing from deep within. A thick, floating mist seen near the entrance, twisting in unnatural shapes. In one chilling account, a man camping nearby said his horse became violently spooked and bolted straight into the tunnel. Men searched both ends, but the horse was gone. No body, no prints, just gone. I visited the Winston Tunnel myself, and the moment I stepped onto the path leading to it, I felt it. The heaviness. Like walking into a place that didn't want you there. The air changes. The forest grows quiet. You begin to hear things. Branches snapping when no one's around. The soft crunch of gravel behind you, just once, just enough to make you turn. And inside it's worse. I didn't go far. The floor is flooded, thick with sticky mud and icy spring water. Every footstep echoed too loud. I kept thinking I heard someone following. Just behind, just out of sight. Later, when I reviewed my footage, I noticed something chilling. As I panned the camera down from the tunnel's entrance, a loud bang rang out in the clip. We didn't hear it when filming, but the audio caught it. Sharp, sudden, like a gunshot or something massive hitting the tunnel wall from deep inside. We were completely alone, but something made that noise. And outside the tunnel, the land holds stories too. Crumbling stone walls lie deep in the forest, remnants of an 1800s home once owned by the Pedigo family. French immigrants, farmers. They settled near the tunnel, lived here for generations, and then one day, they vanished. No fire, no obituary, nothing. The house decayed. The forest swallowed it whole, but the walls remain. Cold, silent, stubborn. No ghost stories are tied directly to the Pedigos, but being there, standing among those ruins, feels off. It's not just silence, it's absence. Like something should be there, but isn't. Or maybe something is there, and it just doesn't want to be found. And that feeling. That sense of being watched, of being near something long dead, but not fully gone, carried with me as I traveled to another haunted place, the cemetery in Chesterville. The town itself barely exists anymore. It's fallen off modern maps, swallowed by farmland and time. But the cemetery remains, and in the back, shaded by a massive oak, lies a grave marked only with the initials AH. They call her the Chesterville Witch. Local lore says she was a healer, or maybe just a woman too outspoken for her time. In a deeply religious community, that was enough. She questioned the church, rejected their rules. Some say she cursed people. Others say she simply knew things, herbs, remedies, secrets. They feared her. And then, one day, she was gone. Some say she was found dead in a field. Others claim she died mysteriously in her home. Either way, they buried her at the back of the cemetery, away from the others. They planted a tree over her grave, believing its roots would trap her spirit. And they surrounded it with wrought iron, a superstition meant to bind her even further. And still, she comes back. Her ghost, they say, appears at night, glowing softly, always inside the fence, never outside, as if something holds her there. Some say if you touch the tree at midnight, you'll see her. Others have tried and run away in terror. Strangely, despite the powerful folklore, no records can confirm who AH was, no full name, no cause of death. The grave bears no date, no history, just the initials. I visited the site during the day. It's peaceful, in that uneasy way some cemeteries are. Still, too still. The wind moves in strange patterns. The tree seems to lean slightly toward you, as if listening. I didn't see her, but I felt her, and I saw the offerings, coins, flowers, trinkets, left by others, left with respect, or fear. Skeptics say the legend is just a legend, but those who've stood beneath that oak tree at midnight, they say otherwise. And then, there's the Massac Mausoleum. This place is different. It's not tragic. It's not just haunted. It feels violated. Located in the Lithuanian Liberty Cemetery in Spring Valley, it holds the remains of 3 brothers, Jacob, Anton, and Peter Massac. They were butchers, businessmen, immigrants who found success, but in the 1960s, their tomb was desecrated in a string of horrifying incidents. Teenagers broke in. They opened the coffins. One stole Anton's skull, attached it to his dashboard like a trophy. Yes, that's real. He was caught. The skull was returned, but the tomb was never the same. Others broke in again. More skulls were stolen.